Good afternoon, SpeedGaming 3. Welcome back to the 2024 Super Metroid Mystery Tournament. My name is DJ Webb. I will be commentating this round one matchup between Cranberry and Glove. Hopefully, I'll be joined by Salty Pigeon momentarily, but until then, I'll be taking you through this action. This should be an interesting race. We've had several several fun seeds so far this tournament. It's been as mysterious as advertised, I suppose. Especially match on this stream earlier today was one of the craziest seeds I've seen, and the race did not disappoint. Hopefully, our runners will display some fantastic Super Metroid Randomizer action. Should be getting started here shortly. Give a quick overview of this mystery settings that we're doing today. So what happens is, normally when you play a randomizer seed, you're aware of what is going on. This is not necessarily the case here. So we have basically all of the things that you can randomize have different chances of happening. So once we get into it, we'll see what is known. First thing you're going to look is at the top right corner. So there is no countdown, so we are not playing full item randomizer. We also have a 60 in the top right corner. That's our charge beam damage. That means the charge beam is vanilla. Um, there is a chance of a starter charge beam or a starter plus charge beam, but neither of those are occurring today. We have standard fare where there's one charge beam. It'll grant you the ability to charge a shot. And if you don't find that, you're going to need enough ammo to beat the game. So like I said, we're not playing full, so we either have major, minor, or chozo. Finding items and locations is going to be what has to tell you which of those two you're playing. We do not know if we are playing vanilla map or area randomization. It is twice as likely to be area, but you have to basically find a door that is blinking where it wouldn't be, or would have an ammo door. That'll tell you those things. The minor item distribution can either be 3-2-1, which is the more standard thing that we've played for a while, or 2-1-1, which is something that Dash themselves introduced. And then there's some other items: double jump, heat shield, gravity can have heat reduction or not. But we did find a reserve tank on the morph ball pedestal in Chozo that is always the morph ball, so that is confirmed a major minor item split for this race. So as you can see, you quickly figure out several of these settings depending on how the items lay themselves out for you. So far what we know is major, minor, and vanilla charge beam. And, yeah, everything else we'll have to figure out from there. As CountCranberry showing, it can be a little bit tricky to deboost off of this enemy. Even sometimes when it looks like you get it, subpixels or something will mess you up, but you shouldn't have any issue with this glove. A little bit more experienced and prolific as a randomizer runner, taking a little bit of a small lead here in the early going. And more than likely, because we did find those power bombs over here, we can go to the left of Morph Ball, and that's the quickest way that you can find out whether or not you're playing vanilla map or area. In vanilla map, the door will be completely gray, and you'll have to kill the enemies. Where if it is area randomization, it'll be blinking. You don't have to kill anything, and you can just go. So, ooh, and another power bomb. That is nice. So, moment of truth. That door is. Oh, and Glove is very happy to have that reserve tank with some energy in it. So we are playing vanilla map. Glove knows that right now. If Cranberry also does the check, he will find out as well. This is one of the trickier things I find. If you play a lot of area randomization, you're used to, even if you take that hit, like the door is open for you and you'll be fine. It can be a little tricky, and obviously if you have like no tanks, Glove would have been potentially a little bit of trouble there. But yes, in this case, some astute health management saved her. And yeah, it is a little bit of it's a decision in major minor. It's perfectly viable to continue through that route, especially because Glove did have that extra pack of power bombs. You're really not in any worry of running out in Green Brent Star, which is where it's going to take you. So could have decided to continue. Would have had to probably lay another power bomb to kill the rest of those big side hoppers, but just going to take the standard route here, and Cranberry not doing the check is going to be following suit. And he'll get the knowledge of vanilla map once he goes to the left. G4 is usually a red door in vanilla map, which is what it's going to be, versus the flashing door for area randomization. Yeah, question in chat, is there anything dash about this? We will have to see. We could have a couple of those additional items. Only vanilla bosses and boss shuffle are available and other things, so if it's surprise or shifted, that's a dash thing. We might have gravity heat reduction. We'll just have to see. And yeah, the minor items could be different. Yeah, so far pretty normal. As stated, we are. Oh, looks like both of our runners are going to end up checking this, which is interesting. I actually didn't expect Love to come back down here, and we still have not found a missile. We've got 4 power bombs and a super. Just very uncommon. Yeah, this is something I would expect if there was still potentially some ambiguity about Major Minor versus Chozo. But given the first item we found was a reserve, there was no ambiguity whatsoever. So minors are looking for minors. In vanilla charge, that's a little bit stronger because you know, the one charge beam out of the 34 major locations is sometimes difficult to locate. But you know, runners decide what they decide, and you know, typically people do have a reasoning behind it. Cranberry is up Alcatraz. Going to be going left here with the absolute surplus of power bombs that we found so far. And shortly he'll see a red door at G4 and be notified of the vanilla map status that we're playing with. As Glove is down the elevator, we're going to have the standard green Bryn fare. We will see if we find a speed booster before we get to Waterway. If not, that will be an isolated check. And there's a nice item to find, a gravity suit here at Brinstar Reserve. Let us see what else we can find down here. It's getting a little bit comical how hard the seed is giving us power bombs and almost nothing else. There's 25 power bombs, 15 total of the missiles, now up to 20. But we're definitely on the hunt for projectile ammo in this vanilla charge environment. Probably you could pick up 0 more power bombs for the rest of the seed and be totally fine. And you can see Glove already with the very sparse amount of supers, conserving them using 5 missiles on a red door. You do not see that too often once supers are picked up. Cranberry is as well making his way through this green Brinstar. Typically in the early stages of vanilla map, it is going to be pretty much runners following in each other's footsteps. So we'll see what happens. Cranberry, a little bit of an underdog in this one at the least, so he's going to have to find something to give himself an advantage. And we'll see what decisions our runners end up making. So far, nice find in the gravity suit. Our energy is pretty healthy so far. Let's see if the big pink area can give us anything. It can give us more power bombs. That we were never worried about, I don't think. Power bombs have been quite plentiful. here is one of those reasons that Glove was being cautious with her super usage. Not a lot of tries at this, but gets the setup first try. Very nicely done. Reward is an E-Tank. I will say that typically, finding one suit will incentivize runners to go down at Red Tower, given that you really only need the other suit to potentially, finish the game. So energy is nice if we end up dipping into Norfair before we find the various suit. No issues will be had by Glove. And Cranberry, I think, was looking to farm some supers, is going to pick up a super pack, and that'll be nice. Hey, look! The charge beam, exactly where it's supposed to be. I think with the sparse amount of supers we have found thus far, that's probably a nice sight to see, but it's also not necessarily going to be doing much for us for a little bit. Expect to see CountCranberry path back up to the Wavegate location as Glove ventures forward towards Red Tower. One of the earliest proponents of the early X-ray sequence break. I do expect Glove to check that here. I have been proven wrong multiple times on a previous commentary, so we'll see how good my guessing is right now. And also see Glove being intentional about keeping her super count relatively high. Given that we do not know the state of the bosses, it is possible that we want to kill Ridley when we see Ridley, which may be before or after the various suit is collected. So, always good to keep your supers high. Glove faked me out there for a second, I was getting worried, but here we are. X-ray deboost. In the vanilla speedrunning arena, this is seen most commonly in glitch categories where the X-ray scoped is extremely powerful. A lot of those things are banned in our no major glitches environments, which Randomizer does use, so you don't typically see this a lot in most vanilla runs, but here in Randomizer, it can be a very powerful play. This location, especially in vanilla map, you're going to go by it, relatively early, and you may not get close to it again for quite some time, so pathing efficiency needs some people to like to get this done as soon as possible. And, as Chad is pointing out, Glove made it look pretty easy, and it is not. Even the most experienced runner has been known to be tripped up by this a time or two. You have, pretty much like a script, and if you stay on script, it's going to look like a beautiful blockbuster movie, and once you get off script, there's really no improvising in this room, especially with the item set that Glove has. No real way past those spikes except for exactly what you do. And, with the reward only being a reserve, we have seen CountCranberry is forward on the path of the seed. Like all things, taking time that takes to get an item does potentially burn you if it doesn't, pay out with the high reward. And Plasma, on the other hand, is a very nice reward. So that, as you saw, brought our damage from 60 to 450. There has been much said in the past about the extreme power of the Plasma Beam. And, that's what, like 7.5 times beam damage, something like that we just increased. So, yes, very powerful late game item, obviously. In the vanilla game, here in Randomizer, it's random, so you may get it early, you may get it late, you may get it never, but you're happy to have it no matter what. If it finds its way into your arsenal. Here we are going to end up in Kraid's Lair. Generally speaking, it's about a 3/4 chance we can kill this boss. Obviously, only Ridley is out there as a non-completable boss at this stage. I think given all of the parameters available, it's probably very slightly higher than 3/4, but not by a lot. So both of our runners say, I want to do this, especially in major minor. And the fact boss shuffled is the only way that both of the items in here wouldn't be available, which is only 30%. So very high likelihood that there are two major items here, and a decent likelihood that we can collect them both now. So I like this play. It's also the case that Obviously, if this is Kraid, you're going to kill Kraid and be happy about it. And if it's not Kraid, it'll give you a clue as to what kind of boss randomization environment we're in, shuffled versus shifted. Talk about that in a little bit if we do, in fact, not see Kraid here. And yeah, Glove has already caught up with some pristine movement. Yeah, it is Kraid, so that doesn't tell us anything. But basically for our boss randomization potential in this tournament, we have 3 boss modes that are all 30%, that being vanilla bosses, shuffled bosses, and shifted bosses. And then there is a 10% chance of boss surprise, a very new mode introduced by the Dash Randomizer, which is completely random bosses. It does not have the distinction of requiring one of each boss, nor does it disallow the vanilla boss order to be around. Shuffled is something that's been around for a long time. It's probably what most people are used to with boss randomization. In that mode, the bosses unlock the same grade doors they would in the vanilla game, regardless of where they are located. Shifted and surprise both act differently. Shifted and surprise, the boss that is in the area that you in will unlock whatever grade doors exist in that area. The difference between shifted and surprise: shifted has the same restrictions as shuffled with regards to the 23 standard arrangements of the bosses. Surprise, like I said, each individual area has a random boss. It does not have any further restrictions. So you could have 4 Kraids, you could have 4 Ridleys, you could have 2 Ridleys, 1 Dragon, and 1 Phantoon. All things are possible. So there are 256 permutations in that arena, which is, I'm sure, everyone's favorite thing to, you gotta number all of them and then confuse people by saying what number the boss order is. That's my goal for this tournament. Yeah. An E-Tank and a Screw Attack in the Kraid's lair. Glove with a little bit of a Kraid stand-up has fallen just a little bit back behind CountCranberry, but we've got a tight race right now, and our runners are so far pathing in the same way. So possibly will be tight throughout. We'll see if one runner zigs while the other zags. But for now, we're headed to ice. Standard and major minor, when you come down and your health's already full, you want to check ice first. That way, if high jump has an E-Tank, you will be refilled after you do the first hell run, and then you can continue from there. But with the immense amount of power bombs, crystal flashes are really no issue. You just have to keep track of your super count, which is typically not the one you're worried about. But yeah, like I said, we're used to 3-2-1. This feels so far like it's 2-1-1, which has more power bombs, fewer supers than normal, quote unquote. So that is something that can happen, especially in the old Dash environment where that was always the case. But we will see if Glove can nail this iceless mock ball. Does. Nicely done. That's something I still need to learn myself. Yeah, runners are trading places once again. We're gonna come down here to the high jump boot location. 2 minors in this room plus 1 more major. Oh, just missed the Silva. So we'll have to more than likely lay a power bomb on his way up. Coming back through that room. Oh baby! The speed booster has been acquired. That is a very nice find in basically every possible randomizer setting. If you were thinking about maybe not doing Norfair and doing Meridia instead with that gravity suit, that speed booster is a huge boon because now we can get all the way to the boss in Meridia. Glove looks like she is opting for the Norfair stay. CountCranberry is at least going into the save room. And yep, he is following suit as well. Our runners are hand in hand, strolling through the park on a nice summer day. They like each other and they don't wanna be too far apart. Oh, but there is a little bit of a zag here. We've got a Crocomire play potentially here for CountCranberry. As Glove is doing doing this in an order I'm not sure I've ever seen. Typically, you can look at, Speed Booster first, that's where the farm is, or Northfield Reserve first because that's on the left, or the other two on the right. I don't think I've ever seen Wave first. Count did get the day glitch. It took all of his supers, but that's not really a concern when we've got Charged Plasma. Rakamar is going to take one hit to the mouth and be done. And, yeah, these could be potentially big plays here with regards to what items are collected here in the near future. Oh, there is one problem with the lack of supers. And that's that door is green, which if you're used to playing Area Randomizer is not the case. So yeah, we do need one. Luckily there's some farm bugs here in the room. Gear Force, they knew exactly what they were doing. These farm bugs that drop the ammo that you need to open the door close to them are very much there for a reason. Cranberry needs to fully charge this plasma beam. And yeah, if you don't get Croc early enough, typically that first shot only takes one step back. But yeah, there's some flashing like the strobe effects here. Rakamar is not going to be long for this world. And, so far, Bubble Mountain has a reserve and an energy tank. Not necessarily what we're looking for, as there's some dashiness for all the people in chat looking for something dash about this seed. A double jump has been acquired. It's exactly like it sounds. You can get one additional mid-air jump once you take off from the ground. It does not reset on anything but landing on the ground. It's a nice item. Given their current loadout, if they were to try lower Norfair, that makes the worst room in the game very comfy. You do not have to do any sort of hypo jump nonsense. It also, I believe, if you're careful, should get you across or back up screw attack. And as you just saw, Glove is trying to do this D-boost to Norfair Reserve. It would also be a boon getting there, so that's a nice find. Nicest thing we've seen so far in this Upper Norfair part of the map. See if, yeah, it looks like Cranberry also is looking at these minor items. We still only have 15 supers. That is not what you would prefer in basically every, type of setting, especially without the Varia suit. If you already had Varia with this beam, I think you'd probably be alright, but supers are nice. Especially when you haven't killed Ridley. Which, technically, we don't know exists in this seed yet. There is, it can still be boss surprise. We, do not have to have a Ridley in the seed. We also gate glitched here when we had Speed Booster. A little bit curious, but hey, you do what you do. Easy to forget. As there is, there's the full, space jump in all of its glory. Devaluing Crocomire if Glove ends up coming here. But, Phaser Beam! That is not what we were looking for here. The, Dash Randomizer was updated last year to not equip Phaser if you already have Plasma. And given we have the Gravity Suit, that is just a fanfare time loss. There is absolutely no benefit to that Phaser Beam. Unfortunately. But it does look like Glove is going to come down here as well. Hoping to get the optimal math pathing all the way down to Norfair and then all the way back up. It's kind of a crazy risk, but you could try to, do a little bit of Varialist lower Norfair. Your supers are probably not high enough to really want to do that, I would think, but who knows? Yeah, people are calling for. I think if Cranberry knew that Space Jump was out there, he might reset, but I would want to keep Double Jump as well. I don't blame him for this. It's also nice to be totally full on everything. If he can spin jump, he'll be out of here. Versus, he may not have been at full health completely or full of his ammo, but it does look like. Well, oh, and we're gonna see. You can see on Cranberry's side that double jump. There's an icon right to the left of your charge beam damage. Glove picked it up, and it's just grayed out, like you said. Double jump is a little baby space jump, so it's not going to do anything for Glove except for be a little reminder at the top right of the screen that it was here, it existed. Yeah, I was thinking Cranberry was maybe looking at leaving Norfair maybe via Croc Escape, but does look to be staying here. So probably he's going to be doing all the checks that Glove just did and trailing by a little bit more once both runners are done with Upper Norfair. This was not the keys to the seed with regards to the various suit, which is essentially all we're looking for at this point. And we have Meridia and Rex Ship in front of us to potentially spike a various suit. And there's also that little, outsized area that is Waterway, the speed locked item in Green Burn Star. But to my knowledge, that gives us definitely 4 in Rex Ship. Definitely definitely 4 more in Meridia, plus potentially 2 more depending on the bosses and how they're laid out. So quite a few locations still for the remaining various suits. Our runners will be on the hunt for certain. Yeah, almost certainly. Well, I thought Glove might have wanted to go to completely full, but not doing that signals to me definitely not looking at Lower Norfair right now. We're going to be out of this hot part of the map, most likely going to Meridia. Like I said, on our way, we have Mama Turtle. We've got a sand pit with a major. We have the Batoon E-Tank, which is accessible via the speed booster picked up, and then there's a boss where Dragon normally resides. If our bosses are vanilla or shifted, or if it's Dragon regardless, that will be that item plus the plasma item. If the bosses are shuffled, potentially, could be nothing else past that. Could be that that's Fantoon, which opens the Rex Ship. And then obviously Jack Tool, which is not currently accessible to us. No Ice Beam, no Grapple Beam. And I've never seen anyone Crystal Flash clip to Jack Tool, so I do not expect to see it today. And if there are any vanilla speedrunners that have been watching, they probably would have noted that because we had gravity when we came here the first time, we could have just powerbombed that tube, and that would have been the fastest way to do that. That is what you see in new route speedruns, but I don't believe either of our runner elected to do that. Glove sparks to a nicely available super missile here at Main Street. Definitely happy to see that. And there's another super crab. I think we're probably going to get that one as well. Probably the only thing that could stop me from getting that would be like Varia Mama Turtle. And even then, you might still grab it. Not Varia, just an E-Tank. Cranberry has successfully finished the Upper Norfair item collection. And will shortly have to make a decision on where he wants to go next. He, unlike Glove, did not check X-Ray on the way down, so that is also something outstanding to him. Just another reason, especially in vanilla map, if you've got this out, the X-Ray outstanding, and you've also got the gravity suit, the 2 ways up to Rex Ship kind of go by one of, X-Ray and Mama Turtle and not the other. So you kind of have to make that decision. Whereas in Glove's case, knows exactly what's at X-Ray, just a reserve. So just gonna do this typical pathing through Meridia, and, hoping to score that elusive various suit. Alright, we're going from W to E. And to see if Glove is feeling like she wants to go headlong to the boss, or maybe try and scout out Sandpit first. There is a safe station conveniently located in Aqueduct. I don't necessarily know if one play is strictly better than the other. Especially with that 30th super required, Glove is not particularly worried about whatever boss happens to be in East Meridia. Um, I want to say that if it's exactly Varia at the Sand Pit, I don't even know if there's a better pathing regarding, going Lore Norfair and then coming back up, or if you did this and then got it on the way back down. Someone with more knowledge of vanilla map rando timings would have to tell you those things. Typical of traversing Meridia is that you go all the way up and then you have to come back down at least a little bit. So in some ways, the backwards pathing is always going to happen, but how much of it and when it happens can make a difference. I would think Cranberry would have wanted that just for the refill, and that looks like Grapple Beam to me. Love thought about going back for that. Probably because she has the speed booster, isn't super worried about how long a Dragon kill would take if this boss is in fact Dragon. But obviously Grapple is a quick and easy way to get that boss taken care of. And no save here. Like I said, Glove is confident about whatever boss she may run into here in Dragon's Lair. And there's an extra boon to the current super count. Yeah, let us see what boss is waiting for us. It is a fade out, so it's not Ridley. And it is Dragon. So thus far, bosses are vanilla in both Kraid and East Meridia. That is the case where all four options are still available to us. Could still be shuffled, could still be shifted, could still be surprising, could still be vanilla. We're gonna have to wait for another boss area to eliminate at least two. I think the next boss has to eliminate at least two options. Obviously, if we go to Fantoon's lair and it's not Fantoon and it's Ridley, that would eliminate both vanilla and either shifted or shuffled. Potentially also surprised depending on how the bosses are laid out. If the boss is vanilla, obviously the bosses would not be shifted or shuffled, but they could still be surprised. So yeah. Let's see what happens as we move forward still in this seed. It was a nice speed kill by Glove. Cranberry not too far behind, done with Botswoon, but we are still on the old hunt for a various suit. Our E-tanks are quite high. We did get a grapple beam, which is very nice for farming those bugs down in Norfair. We do have Space Jump and Screw Attack, very nice movement items. So the unfortunate thing is that we have seen 0 non-vanilla bosses, so Ridley has a, somewhat decent chance to be down there in Lower Norfair, which is a heavy deterrent to that hell run, as Glove uses the spike suit she got from Dragon's room to spark back across. Very nicely done, as Cranberry is going to be a bit safer. He has not picked up the miners that Glove has, and it's only a 15 super, so Ridley would be quite disastrous for his current situation. So heads up to take that save. Probably gets the 20th here, but he has obviously been a little bit less thorough overall with the minor checks. I guess the two he didn't get were just Main Street and Crab, which are a little bit uncommon, especially with Charged Plasma. But, if you are assuming bosses are non-vanilla, which is a 70% chance, that's, totally fine play. Love is not doing a sandpit check, which is a little bit surprising to me. I would think you would want to check that at this juncture. Very, very awkward to get back to if you don't do it right now, but Love says to heck with it all. And looks to be going back down to Norfair. I think if you were going Rick Ship, you would have gone up from Everest. So, potentially deciding that I don't need anything else. A somewhat risky play. Like I said, in both boss shuffled and boss shifted, there were only 5 out of 23. If you find two, of the 23, possible boss arrangements, if you take 2 that are vanilla, only basically there's only, I think there should be 5 of those that exist, something like that. I don't know. Odds are weird, but it's unlikely to have, is it unlikely to have 2 bosses vanilla? I have to look at numbers more carefully than I am currently capable of surmising right now in commentary. But I think it's more likely that this is surprise or vanilla versus shuffled and shifted. So, on that front, this could very much be a little bit scary. Although, this is the first time I'm paying attention to the energy, and it does look like we have gravity heat reduction on. Someone in chat probably said that, and I just didn't see it. So if that was you, that was some astute looking, and also, I apologize for not seeing. But it's only 25% in the current iteration of Dash Randomizer. It used to be 50. So that's, it helps. You can see the tick is slower than it would be without the gravity suit, but it's not the 50% that heat shield and hold gravity provide. So Glove is obviously quite the experienced randomizer player, very talented, and has done a Laura Norfair Hell Run or 2 in her time. I do not doubt that she is capable of this, but I also do not doubt that things can go, a little bit hairy. Pretty much no matter how good you are. So let us, wish for Glove's success and see how this goes. While Cranberry is into the deeper parts of Meridia, trying to scour that various suit. You can see the immense value Space Jump and Screw Attack provide, especially in tandem with each other. 2 peas in a pod. We have been blitzing through this early part of Laura Norfair. We're going to make it to the Fire Flea location with nary a worry here. You can even see how the plasma shots for these pirates are dealing no damage with the Screw Attack active. So this is a nice place. We are full on Power Bomb, so we're going to get big health drops from these Fire Fleas if we kill any. And only a only an X-ray scope here. Not what we were looking for. We've already done Meridia, so there's only potentially 1 boss to be microwaved if we find a Fantoon somewhere. Okay, and it looks like Glove is going to take some damage here and just activate a Crystal Flash. I did not see what was collected by Cranberry at the Plasma location. Spring Ball at Plasma. That is not what you are looking for. Spring Ball is not going to aid you in pretty much any way right now. So, what else CountCranberry elects to do. And as I said, he also did not scout out the the Meridia Zerv major location, which is left sandpit. So that would have been the most convenient spot of what's available to our runners for Varia to be. And to my surprise, frankly, neither runner was checked thus far. While Cranberry is doubling down on these longer, deep Meridia major checks. Collected the Spring Ball and said, let's go to where Spring Ball normally is. Surely that'll work. The seed was trying to give me breadcrumbs all along. I'm gonna follow them into the woods. So here we are in the Metal Pirates room. Full charge plasma is going to be nice to X-ray these. The beautiful thing about X-raying these is that your health is not ticking down while X-ray is interrupting. Excuse me. And you're not using your very precious resource of super missiles, which, both allow you to crystal flash and, kill bosses quickly, namely Ridley, which we do not know is not here. Ridley could be here, Ridley could not be here. And I do not know if Glove saved on the way down. Chat will have to inform me if they saw a save happen at the Ridley save, as Cranberry shows us energy tank. Okay, no save in from Glove. So that is potentially very, very not favorable. As this door is about to open, and Glove is going to be crystal flashing before the boss. We'll only have 25 supers post crystal flash. I do not know if she will elect to ref. Okay, we're back. Nothing happened. Okay, yes, Glove is electing to be safe, and if this is really going to get back to 30 supers, because Cranberry on the hunt still. Got the good items to move through Meridia quickly, and there is a Ridley that right to left door confirms. So we are most likely in a vanilla boss situation here. It is still possible that it's surprise. Like I said, surprise both allows for the vanilla boss arrangement as well as for duplicates. So as of yet, we still do not know what boss will be at Wreck Ship, although it is 3-1 that these are vanilla bosses and it will just be Phantoon hanging out. Probably has had the various seed for the entirety of the seed, and we will just be, we'll have been longing for quite some time. Cranberry tried to stay in Meridia with this gate glitch, unfortunately missed, and is going to have to farm some bugs in here because this is also a super gate. And there's the high jump boots. Probably not exactly what Glove was looking for because an energy refill would have been very clutch, but the high jump boots are probably the best non-tank E-tank item she could have found because they're comfy and beautiful and they make your movement good because they had speed and not high jump. So we're gonna have to farm. I think you cannot make it out of here without crystal flashing again, so these supers need to come with some haste, and they are. Nice double super drop there. Double energy drop, obviously also good. What we don't want to see is missiles or the rare power bombs. I assume Glove is going to be here for at least a little bit. There is an alternate super farm, obviously, as we saw with those metal pirates, as I have summoned the missile drop. Apologies to Glove. But there's another one. Wow. Yeah, these other enemies in here. What on earth? It is extremely rare to see missile drops while you are farming here in a heated situation. But Glove says, I will be fine with 1 crystal flash. I do have 3 reserves. I actually only remembered 2. So we actually have quite a bit to go. And like I said, there is some gravity heat reduction going on. So we are in a better position than we maybe could be in other situations. As Cranberry, still struggling on the front of supers, comes back in here to farm some more. Obviously, if he's going to Wreck Ship, he knows that he needs a super to get in the Wreck Ship, and he needs a super to open the door to what is more than likely Phantoon, but at the very least Phantoon's arena. Glove with a beautiful speedball. Screw attack here. I think we're probably going to use 1 power bomb here. And then we're going to use the X-ray scope to do a force stand clip. And now we're going to crystal flash. That is very much safe from the, looming key hunter that is above you. And should be home free from this point. Given she didn't even save on the way in, I did not expect to save on the way out. This 9 plus 3 and 25% heat reduction. Glove is feeling confident about her ability to get out of here. While Cranberry will be the one to show us if we are in fact in a vanilla boss seed. Here over at the Wreck Ship, he did not obviously come down and pick up an X-ray scope, so will be the standard fare for Phantoon. if that is in fact the boss we have here. Yeah, because he doesn't know it's not Ridley, he is going to be taking that save. Very smart. Ridley would be an absolute disaster for his current situation, but it would also tell him the Very is not here, which would confirm that it's at that sneaky little sand pit that neither of our runners decided to check. That would definitely be the quote-unquote funniest outcome from my all-seeing eye. As it stands, very, very difficult to see CountCranberry finding a way back into this race. Glove has already completed Lower Norfair, did not search out those deep Meridia checks, doesn't really care about a various suit, and is shortly going to be in the wreck ship, where Cranberry is most likely going to be checking some of the 4 items that are in wreck ship, 4 major items, I mean to say. So, a risky play for certain. The Glove, with like I said, all of the experience and ability she has in Randomizer, very well done to finish all of Norfair. No various suits. On the road to victory. A little bit unfortunate there. Cranberry looks like fired one too many missiles and ended that cycle early. And getting the right slow, which is just rude. Looks like he wants to finish with a charge shot. That means that Super also would have finished off the job, given that it does more damage. Faint Tune. So, status is 3 bosses done for each runner. CountCranberry wants a various suit. Glove wants to kill a ghost. We'll see what wreck ship holds for us. Cranberry does have the ability to check all 4 major item locations with the speed booster in tow. Glove is likely just going to be quickly in and out of here. No real need for any additional items for her. As the E-tanks, which have been coming steadily throughout this seed, have not ceased. We only have 11 of them, and there are 14. Nice speedball there into Fantoon's lair, and Cranberry is saving. With this item set, I'm not really sure if you're even saving time if you reset out of here, but sometimes it can just be like a muscle memory kind of thing where you feel like you're supposed to save, so you save. And if you're not, trying to put in the, mental output to figure out if this is good or bad, you just kind of do what you know you can do. Glove is going to show off that X-ray scope. Blasting Fantoon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many times? And getting a 1 round. Is done. And that is going to be boss number 4 out of 4. Glove is going to be headed towards the G4 statues in Torian, likely going to have a little pit stop at the ship to refill all of her resources. She will need to powerbomb the Metroids, no ice beam acquired. And this little Chozo over here at the wreck ship E-tank had the various suits. It has been chilling up here, always available to our runners, but unfortunately for CountCranberry, he did not come up here very quickly. Like I said from the onset, 1 suit has a heavy incentive to go down. So that is what both of our runners chose. And Glove made the choice to forego the various suit in favor of a difficult but quicker, potentially overall strategy just going through Lower Norfair and taking damage the whole time. Runners are leaving wreck ship, but in drastically different situations. This is essentially the top of the map. There's the only thing above where CountCranberry is essentially this room. You just have to get to it from another part. And Ridley is as far down in the map as exists, and then you have to come all the way back up. So, Glove is in the home stretch. Cranberry finally entering go mode. He's looking to kill a space pelican and maybe have some choice words about the location of the various suit, which was certainly Ridley's doing. He wanted to live as long as possible, and thus put Varia at a location he did not think our runners would get to with any sort of aplomb. So, Red Tower versus the G4 statues. They get to stay golden typically in Randomizer because they take a little bit to start graying out, and you are down the elevator by then. You are fast. Which Glove has shown plenty of speed thus far in the 49 minutes we've been watching our two runners duke it out here in round one of our mystery tournament. Who are in the chat and have enjoyed the show thus far, feel free to give our runners a follow. Power bombs typically deal 200 damage, and they have the ability to double hit. However, Metroids only take half damage from them, so you need 5 total hits to deal the 500 energy damage that Metroids have. Weird little quirk. They take half damage from power bombs and double damage from supers, so it really accentuates just how much better it is to kill them by freezing them with Ice Beam and then shooting one super. But Ice Beam, not on the forward path for either of our runners, so the alternate methods will have to do. There's Metroid Room 4. Only a few more power bombs, and then we'll see if Glove can get the baby skip going. Waveless is a little bit more difficult, but we do have all of the good movement items, so I expect an attempt, and given the proficiency Glove has shown so far, we're hoping for a successful baby skip. It looks like she has opted to forego a baby skip, likely owing to the fact that energy requirement for Rainbow Beam is doubled to 600 with the various suit not acquired. So we're headed to the energy refill no matter what. She did have the ability to not refill. There are 3 reserve tanks which were full from the ship refill, so she did have enough energy, but said, the heck with that. Let's just get it all back. Have no worries for any of the, trickier than it may seem, Mother Brain Room. When you have Ice Beam and those Rinkers are of no bother to you, it feels great. And when you don't have Ice Beam, you want to curse those little demons back to the underworld from which they come. So they can be a little bit tricky to dodge and maneuver around, and hopefully, not get your shots sniped. CountCranberry showing the singular flaw of the screw attack. It interacts weirdly with the wall jump animation, so even though you're glowing from the spin, you don't actually screw attack the enemies. No idea exactly why that happens, but it does. And here is the other thing Glove was hoping to nail. First try, the speed zep skip. Wants all of her ammo for the Mother Brain 1 and 2 phase. Supers are going to be higher DPS than the 450 damage charged plasma that she has. So I wanted to keep them. Missiles, I think, would also be higher DPS, but not quite to the extent that the supers are. Supers are basically double DPS, where missiles are like plus 150 damage, which is, I guess, plus 33%. So, definitely, mostly looking forward to keeping the supers. You can see, already got them loaded up. He's going to stop at 15. If you are perfect on your math, you can know that this is a good play. It's actually the case that the Rainbow Beam will not happen if Mother Brain is exactly at 75%, so you do need to be counting perfectly if you want to not over damage. But Love stopped and then restarted the supers. We're gonna finish this out with our charge beam. And once we get to that, it will be under 10 shots until the end. I am quite a fan of the dash HUD telling you what your charge beam damage is. A little bit less rote memorization needed, and if you've got some downtime, maybe at the baby skip, you could totally map out exactly what your plan is for the destruction of Mother Brain with regards to all of your possible damage outputs. But obviously, there are very simple things you can always do that don't require as much calculation. So C Glove is performing the stand-up glitch. That is where you do some tricky things during, Rainbow Wing firings and other shenanigans. I'm not the best person to explain it, but what happens is you can move around during this cutscene, and that allows you to deal damage to Mother Brain in a state where you are normally, glued to the ground. That will speed up the final phase of the fight. With this beam, it's not, as prolific as it would be with the full beam combination, but you will save, over a dozen shots, I want to say. CountCranberry is dealing with the other boss with 18,000 health, the Ridley, down here in Lauren Warfare. With all of the tanks that we have acquired, he's not in a ton of danger, but as someone who is not, experienced in vanilla categories, supers are like 5 times easier of a fight versus Beam on Ridley. So, whatever your comfort level is, this is, not necessarily the greatest fight that you want to do, as well as, not having high jump boots. I think it's probably worse for Beam versus supers because of, the different ways that you can fire and stuff. So I have no doubt that Cranberry will be fine, but it is, it's a little bit of a wonky fight and taking a little bit of time. But Mother Brain has been fully slain on the right side of the screen. No more sentient AI overlords here on Zebes, and now all we have to do is run to the top and jump on our ship before certain doom, finds its way to this planet. Very comfortable escape here. We've got high jump and speed booster, and we also have screw attack and space. So absolutely nothing is of any threat to us. Barely anything can even inconvenience us, frankly. So to the races, and Love is going to be finishing up here shortly. As high jump boots are collected on the other side, there is the Behemoth Spark all the way up diagonally to the top right of the room. Parlor is all that stands between us and landing sites. The Steam is doing what the Steam does. That is actually the biggest inconvenience in Escape. Not the enemies, it's the Steam. And Glove has finished in first place, an official race time of 57 minutes and 27 seconds. CountCranberry will be seeing that dot done in the race time chat and forfeiting shortly thereafter. And yeah, GG's to both of our runners. And I know Glove has been in the chat for a little bit. She's more than welcome, as is CountCranberry, to join me here for a little bit of an interview, if they so desire. Oh yeah, this has been strange. This channel has been off the rails. I will be sending out an invite to Glove. You should be getting yours and see if I can find CountCranberry as well. It was very quick. GG's, Glove.
Thank you.
You go.
That seed was miserable. Like, Look, I'm not a hater. I retired in 2022. But if I were to return to hating, it would be something like this. Because it's so stressful running a seed like this where you know the entire time that there is a distinct possibility your opponent went up to wrecked ship and gravity was just at right super. Or, I mean, excuse me, Varia.
Yeah. This was, I said it, I mean, gravity was basically the first thing you found once you got into Brinstar, so it's like, in a vanilla map, like, one suit is a really heavy incentive to just go down.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you got the speed booster that lets you do all of Meridia, but Various suit, not to be found down there. Cranberry did end up finding that at wreck ship E-Tank, and obviously, you know, with the unknown state of the bosses, it's also a little bit more risky to try that wreck ship, but yeah. I have a very clicky keyboard.
Wait, that's coming through?
I can hear it, yes.
Where's my crisp noise suppression? This sucks. Sorry. But yeah, I can't stand vanilla map. Yeah, it's just like if like I knew I had a fairly distinct advantage going into this, and I feel like if you wanted to create an upset, these are pretty much the settings you would choose. Major, minor, vanilla map, vanilla bosses. Yeah, I mean, pretty much aside from a couple things like the existence of double jump and gravity reducing heat damage, this is just like season races settings, and there's a reason that we've moved away from those, quite frankly. Like, if you are playing an area rando seed, even if you make some wrong choices, generally in the, like, there are enough choices that if you know area rando better, then in the aggregate you're going to win, even with some choices that don't work out. With vanilla map, there's like a couple of choices. So it not to say that other settings meant like I was guaranteed a win or anything. Like, I do not believe that. But these are the settings that I think are the least fun to race and are very volatile, and I don't like them. So it sucks that like we just got the least interesting thing you could possibly get in the mystery tournament.
Yeah, there was some early calls in chat once we had, you know, a little bit of a, you know, view of how things are going. It was like, is there anything dash about the seed? Because, you know, it was vanilla charge, it was vanilla map.
Yeah.
It may have been 2-1-1, and we did end up with some gravity heat reduction, which it took me probably too long to realize. But yeah,
it must have been 2-1-1, because like, where were the supers?
Yeah, there's one difference on our current randomizer. It does not tell you anything about ammo. It's there, and you find what you find. No numbers.
I didn't.
No first. No anything.
Didn't look at what the counts were.
Yeah, it doesn't even give it to you. It's not there.
Oh, worm. Okay. But yeah, it. Oh yeah, I was so frustrated after doing Croc. I was like, oh cool, I got double jump and Spazer when I had space jump and plasma.
Could not, like, I literally don't think there's any. It could not have been worse.
And the two minor item checks were missiles. I could have checked the third minor item check. I don't know, maybe that was a super, but I think that check is. If I had like 25, maybe even 20 supers, I could think about making that check. Although doing an LN on what I think at that point I had like 7E2R So like doing a 25 Super LN where there's like a pretty good chance it's Ridley is just not ideal. It's so the other thing that's kind of funny is it's just like you can never know for sure that all the bosses are vanilla. Like you can have an idea, but sometimes there's just second grade.
Yeah.
Played a seed last night with 3 grade actually. That was pretty funny.
I would enjoy the chill, relaxing nature of a 3 grade seed.
Well, the issue was the one boss that wasn't Kraid was Ridley in Lower Norfair.
That's good. Of course that's how it has to be.
The only boss that actually matters, what it is usually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited to like play the Dash Mystery tournament further and get mystery settings. I guess it's possible I could get these settings every single race, but like that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2-1, so in theory we should all
Mhm.
expect 4 area seeds and 2 vanilla map seeds. I'm sure exactly MM2 will get like 5 vanilla map because he's like the person who hasn't retired from hating vanilla map.
I mean, good for him. Honestly, like vanilla map sucks so much. It oh. But yeah, GG's to CountCranberry. I guess he's not joining.
Yep, I did send him an invite if he didn't get one from the bot, but yeah, GG's to you as well. I met you this entire time. You're like seed like 9 or something like that in this, is that right?
Yeah, I honestly thought I was seated too high.
You and me, but not. I didn't think you were seated too high. I thought I was seated too high. So yeah, you were one of the higher rated players in this tournament. It is good to see you back. I know you've been taking a break from the streaming world, but hopefully you'll have some success in this tournament. I enjoy watching you play. I think I was decently complimentary.
Yay.
It was very nice. It was a very nice Lauren Orfair. I was a little bit shocked, especially like somehow neither of you checked left sandpit. That shocked me, but it wasn't Varia. So I think
Yeah,
you would have liked Ice though.
ice would have been really, really good. I think you should check left sandpit there. That was just like I look prior to like 3 days ago. The last rando I had done was in like September, I think. So I'm still kind of getting back into the swing of things. And I don't really know. I don't really necessarily see myself doing as well as my seeding this tournament. I'm not gonna grind it like I did previous tournaments, honestly. So whatever happens, happens.
As long as
But
we're
I'm
having
excited to
fun.
play the rest of my games.
Yep. Good luck to you as well as Count Cranberry in the furtherance of the mystery tournament. We are just getting underway here in round 1. I'm going to be a good tournament person and look at the schedule for the remainder of the day. I know there's a few to come up at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have Sunflower versus Sunwoo Farmer on SG2. That one does have. We are looking for one more commentator potentially. Later tonight on an undetermined channel at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern is Cross Product versus Adraxis, and then a slew of races tomorrow, one of which includes myself. And yeah, we have actually quite a few that are still yet to be scheduled, so hopefully we'll have plenty of Super Metroid Randomizer action coming your way on the Speed Gaming family of networks. As always, very grateful to all of the good people of Speed Gaming who help us broadcast these tournaments for you all. And then I'm going to give one final shout out to our runners who put on an excellent show. You need to type a letter after an exclamation point if you want something to happen. And then I was joined on this broadcast by Ike here on tracking. He's been helping us out quite a bit here in the early going, as well as he was maybe the first race of the tournament. So thanks to him, you can follow him or myself if you so desire. Unfortunately, Salty was unable to join me. Hopefully, he just had a bit of an issue in the nest. and he'll be flying back onto your screens in no time. But we're gonna get out of here, and until next time, we'll see you next mission.